Ladies and gentlemen, testing, testing, 1, 2. How are you? How y'all doing, man? I hope you guys are having a beautiful day, man. We're back with some more of the Ty Tucker trial. And what did I say in the last episode, people? I said that prosecution was ass, like stinky ass, like poop crumbs falling out of the little hairy section of the butt. That's how trash prosecution was for their big cross-examination of Mr. Ty Tucker. Now, we have the verdict, people. We have the verdict. And I mean, you put in the work, you get the results, right? So prosecution put in their work, and we're about to get the results of what happened. Now, clearly, Mr. Ty Tucker was prepared. He, as prepared as any pro se defendant can be, right? But it seems to me that prosecution was half as prepared as this man, who's not even a prosecutor or a defense attorney. But anyways, people, let's go ahead and check this out. Let's go check out the verdict, and let's go check out what Mr. Tucker has to say on said verdict. Let's jump into this thing.
Received the latest communication, shared it with. I've received the latest communication, shared it with the defendant and the prosecutors. I'll recite it now. Judge Jones, we cannot come to a unanimous decision as to a verdict. Thank you, foreperson.
And before we move on, people, grab the Modelo, the official beer of the UFC. Nah, man, grab y'all's beverages. I just paused the video because this thing was gonna be loud as hell. But grab y'all beverages, grab the things you guys need, get comfortable, man. Let's hear what they gotta say. So first and foremost, they couldn't reach a verdict. Shit, to be honest, I was expecting a not guilty. But let's continue here.
You remember the Allen charge I read you when we first were notified of this deadlock, and I told you that if you simply cannot reach a verdict, then return to the courtroom and I will declare this case mistried. So that's at this point what I'm going to do. If you all can't reach a unanimous verdict, then I accept that fact. I'm going to declare this case a mistrial. So with that, I'm going to give you a final instruction here, ladies and gentlemen. I wish to thank you for your time and consideration of this case.
I would have been on the same boat. Like, I would have been like, man, I can't go either way. I can't say bro is guilty. I can't say bro is innocent. Because prosecution, first of all, they get mad every time he has a colorful answer. If it's not exactly what they want, they get angry about it. There's no question pending, Your Honor. But there is no question pending, Your Honor. Your Honor was like, yo, let the man finish from the first question you asked. They would ask all these questions and be like, okay, that's enough. Your Honor, there's no question pending. Like, bro, you ask a question, you have to let me finish my answer. That's how this works. Anyway, prosecution was ass. Crumbs. Doo-doo crumbs.
I also wish to advise you of some very special privileges enjoyed by jurors. No juror can ever be required to talk about the discussions that occurred in the jury room except by court order. For many centuries, our society has relied upon juries for consideration of difficult cases. We have recognized for hundreds of years that a jury's deliberations, discussions, and votes should remain their private affair as long as they wish it. Therefore, the law gives you a unique privilege not to speak about the jury's work. Although you are at liberty to speak with anyone about your deliberations, you are also at liberty to refuse to speak to anyone. A request to discuss either your verdict or your deliberations may come from those who are simply curious, from those who might seek to find fault with you, from...
So basically, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Go back to your life, people. Have at it. Have a good time. Do what you gotta do. Everything's cool. But, it's just crazy that I saw this coming. I mean, you guys go back to the old video. I told you, honestly, I thought he was going to walk free. But I told y'all we're not going to get the verdict that prosecution is expecting. And at this point, I don't even know if prosecution was expecting the guilty verdict. The way they fumbled through this whole case, I mean, they're probably expecting to lose. Like, anyways, go watch my other video because you'll see how bad prosecution cross-examines him. It's terrible.
That courtroom when the judge said that he didn't want to, but he declared a mistrial. Over at the defense table was pro se defendant Ty Tucker. This has been a 3-week-long experience for you. How do you feel right now? What's going through your mind?
Actually, what's going through my mind is I was just telling you, I want to go home. I want to, see my dog. I've been miss him. But the other thing is I'm thinking is as we come back for the second one, I think it's March 7th is when we're going to come back and try it again. I think we're going to do a lot better the second time around. And I'm not so sure about the prosecution, so we'll see.
How are you feeling?
That's a little jab at prosecution because, man, listen, I'm not so sure about the prosecution either. Not so sure. I'm just being real with you.
The fact that this still is not over. This has been several years bringing it to this point. You became pro se back in September officially, and you helped pick this jury. Were you hoping for a mistrial? Were you hoping for a not guilty? Where are you with this?
I was hoping for a not guilty. That's true. When the prosecution did what they did in their close, that I wasn't. I knew that skewed the odds a little bit. But again, that's not going to happen the second time around. So the second time around, I get to come back with Todd O'Quinn, which I did not. I get to come back with the other witnesses I had, which I did not. So I have a feeling our return for the second round is going to be a lot better than it was the first time.
What are you planning on doing differently? Are you already starting to think about that? I know that you're still grappling with the news right now of a mistrial.
You haven't known me long, but you know me well enough to know that. Yes, I am already thinking about what I'm going to be doing and how I'm going to change things. So yeah. So, like I said, the second time around, look, I barely got to put on a defense the first time. There's some mistakes I made the first time. I'm trying not to make the second time.
Okay, well, we can say that without any shadow of a doubt, this is an intelligent human being, right? He understands things. Like, he's not a fumbling, mumbling idiot. Like, Brooks is an idiot. Bradley Yon, idiot. You could tell just the vocabulary, the way they put big words into certain sentences that don't really belong there. You can tell these people are idiots, just low IQ dummies. But you can tell that Mr. Tucker here is an intelligent person. Like like I said, he understands things. Like, he probably inquires about things. It sounds like the man reads, which kind of puts me in the place like, how did he end up homeless? I mean, brilliant people end up homeless all the time for various reasons, but I'm just trying to figure out how did his life end up at that point 6 years ago when he allegedly robbed this place and allegedly did all this stuff. Like, bro, you're smart enough to get a job. You're smart enough to do decent in life. You know what I mean? So, I don't know.
So we'll see how it goes.
Today you tried to enter in more evidence after all the evidence was entered in this trial, even, that happens before closings. Mm-hmm. But you tried to have a particular video, an interrogation, entered into evidence today. Is that going to be part of your strategy? Are you going to hope to have that introduced next trial?
It wasn't so much evidence that, again, it wasn't so much evidence. This one was, the allegations they made in their close. When they made was the comment of there's no possible way he could have known, when they knew they had that video that came from them. And it's like, okay, no, it's one thing. Okay, if you want to put up a fair fight, fine, that's good, that's what they're supposed to do. But that was not exactly, like I said, we have ethical concerns here. So.
And prosecutors were telling the judge that they're concerned about threats against themselves and their families, and you were saying that you're also receiving threats.
Oh, I don't know about threats, but I definitely get my fair share of people who don't like me. People who have negative things to say. They're posting up on my Facebook. They're posting up and sending me emails, whatever. But it's the nature. It's the nature of this thing. It's like, okay, no, some people are always going to think I did this, no matter what, right? It doesn't matter. They could come out tomorrow and put billboards up saying Ty didn't do it, right? Some people are always going to feel that way. Fine, and for them, again, I can't.
Shit, you better hope those people who feel that way aren't on the jury in round 2. Like I said, a jury is always flawed. There's always going to be a flawed element to a jury because we're human beings, and they're going to try to take out all the people who are biased. They're going to try to take out all the people who have prior experience with stuff like this, who might have a certain who might give certain responses due to their history. But at the end of the day, I just might wake up today and say, fuck it. I'm just going to write not guilty because I feel like it. People are weird. People are fickle. People are weird. They change up too much. So, I guess a jury is the best we can do, but it ain't perfect. It's far from perfect. So he better hope that those people who will always think that you are guilty, you better hope them folks aren't in your next trial, buddy. That's one thing you better hope.
I can't say as far as what they've been receiving, what's been happening. I mean, that's for them. Again, I don't personally know. I don't know what they're actually getting at, or whether he was just playing that up to play it up. I don't know. But I do know that yes, if you're going to prosecute this case and you're going to do it with the kind of evidence they came with, you're going to receive some criticism.
Well, there's also criticism over the fact that you've been so vocal about your story and your defense. Prosecutors were hoping to get the gag order reinstated. You argued against it. Why do you want to talk to the media and share your story?
Well, because, there's a lot of things that happened in this case that people aren't aware of. And personally, like I told the judge, I don't know if you guys caught that day. Yeah, you had to have when I did my JOA. When I said this case should have never gone to trial, it should have been dismissed a long time ago, legally, right? And that part people need to know.
Well, March 7th, you're still facing life behind bars if your next jury convicts you.
Yeah.
Is there any regrets for not taking one of the many plea deals?
No, I told you that before. And man, look, I actually even talked this over with Jerry when you saw him in there. It's like, look, part of the reason I'm here is because people do that, right? And I understand it. I understand how scary it is. I understand, you want to get home, you want to go back to work, you want to, get on with your life. I get that. But every time somebody takes a plea, when they didn't do it, well, these guys, they rely on that. They've come to the point where they rely on the plea. They looked at me shocked when I didn't take the plea, like you're supposed to take it. No, I didn't do it. So take me to court. Take me to trial.
So today, the jury...
That's crazy, though. He's got a point, people. They pretty much rely on plea deals. This is how they put people in jail. They don't want to take shit to trial. The fuck? Why the fuck are we taking it to trial? Take this plea, take this time, snitch on him, do that, and we're gonna keep on pushing. The fact that I think they thought he was gonna take this plea, right? And the fact that he didn't take the plea has prosecution scrambling because they don't have sufficient evidence. They know he's the one who did it, right? Say he did do it, right? Say he did do it for sure. We know for sure, right? In a different reality. They're relying on that. Like, they're like, yeah, but we know he did it though. So fuck it. Just put whatever, but we know he did it. So just make sure he goes to jail. We know he did it though. Where's the evidence, big dog? Come on now.
We began deliberations. Did you wake up, had it run past your mind that you may be incarcerated tonight and not go home?
Yes, actually, and it ran through my mind to the point where, yes, I did post up on Facebook, and I was saying, basically I'm telling people that, man, this might be it for me. That might be the last post I make, I don't know. But the thing is okay, I'm willing to accept the consequences, if I lose. But again, if this is the best they've got, I don't see it.
And you have restrictions, right? Because you have an ankle monitor on.
Yes, I do. And again, right now, even when I'm down here, I can't leave my hotel room unless I'm doing something, something for the case, something like that. I'm not free. Even when I go home, I have to email the court to take out my trash or to go check my mail. I can't leave my apartment. So
this all happened at the Tree House, which is also kind of a flop house. It was a drug house. You're sober now, right? How long have you been sober?
Well, sober is a relative concept, but
what does that mean?
Well, that means, don't get me wrong. Weed is definitely legal in Oregon. So, again,
a lot of things are legal in Oregon. So, are you sober?
That is true. I wouldn't say I was sober, but I'm not. I'm within compliance as far as this goes. Because I smoke weed. I don't think anybody out there cares about that. But yes, I'm in compliance as far as what I need to with this. Now, As far as the flop house part of it, the tree house, I mean, yeah, I would have to agree with you there. I'm not going to say it wasn't, what it was. But like I told you, I've been there 3 times. One time when I was looking at the place for rent, right? And the other 2 times, yes, I was there, man, because Todd O'Quinn was staying there. And, yeah, I was coming home from the bar, and I just crashed out with, there, as opposed to making it home. Now that, my life was definitely different then. I'm not going to say it wasn't. It was definitely different. Living a different lifestyle. I mean, down here, I don't know if you've noticed down here, they like to drink a lot, and smoking weed down here, it's still illegal here, so that you can't get away with that one here. But, I guess it depends on where you're at and what your beliefs are. My personal belief is I don't care what people do, as long as they're not hurting other people.
How hard will it be to pick the next jury? You mentioned the fact that, this has received such attention from coast to coast. I mean, we've been covering it on Court TV.
The thing is, yes, I do think people need to look at this case. I really do. And I think they need to look at the history of the case more than just what happened in this courtroom, because there were a lot of things that led up to this. And even Jerry and I were talking about the long road we came, to get here, and whether or not it was smart for me to go pro se or not. We were discussing the benefits and drawbacks of it.
Are you happy you did?
Yes, actually, I am. Because, even in my pro se motion, if you ever read my pro se motion, it's available on the court website, the clerk's website. But the thing is, one of the things I said in there is, yes, I have excellent attorneys. Karen and Jerry are excellent attorneys, no doubt. But you know what? This case doesn't take an excellent attorney to win. That's what I said.
Okay. So for the viewers that are just joining us, because, this case has been building momentum, I know you've said it before. I've asked you before, for their benefit, were you involved in the murder of Matthew Bonnet that night?
I had nothing to do with the murder of Matthew Bonnet. I had nothing to do with the robbery. I had nothing to do with any of this. I've said it 1,000,000 times. I'll say it 1,000,000 times over. The reason I'm even willing, look, if I had done this, I probably would have sat there, shut my mouth, let my lawyer do his thing, and tried to get the best deal I could, right? But when you didn't do it, look, I don't care what people say. When you didn't do it, don't take the deal. Make them come with the evidence that they have. It's like, and they'll try and scare you, and they'll try and intimidate you. He's sitting there talking about intimidating emails or whatever, and phone calls. I've been intimidated for 6 years over this, trying to force me into a deal, and I'm not going to do it.
Well, tonight you're able to sleep in your own bed, at least at the hotel, and then you're going to make your way back home. What does tonight look like for you?
Relaxing, kind of. I mean, look, I haven't been able to relax for a long time. I don't know if you've noticed, but over the course of this 3 weeks, I came in here, I had energy, but I'll tell you what, I've been getting more and more drained as we've gone along.
Today you looked pretty serious.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, it's, just not having to do this, day to day, and, just every day I gotta admit, I miss the running around that they used to do for me. I gotta say, but yeah, it's tiring. It is.
Final question: will you be pro se next trial?
There's a good chance of it. There is a good chance. But
what do you guys think? Should he go pro se next trial, or should he have a lawyer? Because this whole thing was like, you don't know if you're going to perform the same way again. You don't know how well you'll do. You don't know how the different jury's going to react to you. And once you go pro se, you can't go back. Well, you can in certain conditions. Judge Doro taught us that. Shout out to Darrell Brooks' trial. But what do you guys think? Pro se or lawyer? And with the amount of evidence that prosecution came with, I would say go lawyer. Because a lawyer could eat that shit up. Like, the amount of evidence that prosecution came with was trash.
I don't know. We'll have to see. Jerry was wanting another try at it. We'll see, man. We'll see how it goes.
Okay. Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to me. Exclusive interview. First interview since the decision of a mistrial here in Key West. I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
And that was pretty much it, folks. That was it. Let me know what you guys think, man. I honestly think he has a good chance of getting away. Yeah. I'm not saying I think he didn't do it, but I think he has a good chance of getting off. OJ style. Not going to lie. Not going to lie to you guys, but you guys let me know, for sure. Shout out to my Patreon members. You guys are amazing. I'm coming out with another Patreon video in a few days, so keep your eyes out for that. Shout out the YouTube member fam. Shout out to all the YouTube subscribers, man. All 12,126 at this moment. And yeah, man, you guys are awesome. go check out the Instagram. I'll see you in the next one. I'm out of here.